Welcome to the Copper Tin Mine and Railroad. Today we're going to talk about D-Line Bridge. So stay tuned. D-Line Bridge. Now I love this picture. This is D-Line Bridge at Bingham. We're going to talk about this bridge today. I was surprised when I went looking through all my pictures. I had so many photos of this bridge. It was very unique, being half wood and half steel. After studying and looking at so many pictures of this bridge, I think I know why they built it this way. Now I'll give my thoughts on this a little later. It was also the only straight bridge that crossed Carr Fork Canyon. The rest were built on a curve. Look at this wonderful photo looking up Carr Fork. You can see most of these bridges. Now there were 7 large viaducts running across the canyon. They were in such close proximity, they could be mistaken for a model railroad. Now this photo is from Don Strack's UtahRails.net. He has many pictures of Bingham and a great deal of information. The early mine was made up into levels, and they were named letters starting with A level, elevation 6340, then working its way up the mountain, B, C, D, on up the hillside. It went as high as V. That's why it's named the D-Line Bridge. The name will extend to the dumps, D-dumps. We had a video on the Carr Fork Bridge, or A-Line Bridge. This was the bottom of the canyon. From here the levels went up the mountain. Over the years the mountain will be ate away and become a pit. D-Line Bridge was the second large bridge up Carr Fork Canyon. Now here's a map where it was at. It was built in 1926. We have some grand pictures of them constructing this bridge. The first 2 pictures were taken June 6, 1926. Note the ore train. Now this is probably running up empties to one of the underground mines up in Carr Fork. The Apex mine had a large loading station just up from this bridge. There's no date on the third picture, but look at the large crane working on the bridge. In the background is Cottonwood Gulch. That is being filled in with waste material. The trains dumping show that the higher bridges were already built. I think they came from G-Line Bridge and the J-Line Bridge. They were both built around 1924. The next 2 pictures have a date, August 24th, 1926. Now one's looking down the canyon and the other is looking up the canyon. Now they're working on the still part of the bridge now. And then we have the last picture, and it shows the complete bridge. And that's dated September 20th, 1926. In 1924, Utah Apex Mining Company granted surface rights on the north side of Carr Fork to Utah Copper to serve as dumping grounds. The initial rights to build railroad tracks were granted March 1st, 1924. This is when bridge construction started up Carr Fork Canyon. Utah Copper property was south of Carr Fork, so they had to get permission to go north. This photo shows the D, G, J, and L bridges around that time. Let's see where that D-Line Bridge would take us after crossing. Back to this picture. You can see it goes down the canyon, then it just goes above the B and G yard. They are filling in the gulches as they move down the canyon. They are approaching that large Markham Gulch. In this 1937 picture, it shows that gulch mostly filled in now. The D-Line traveled across that Markham Gulch and then enters the tunnel to the right. By 1941, it's all the way down to Dry Fork Canyon. This panoramic view shows where it was at, just above the Bingham and Garfield Railroad line. Above the B and G yard where that D-Line passed through, they will build a brand new substation up there. One of its job was converting AC to DC for the electric trains. The conversion from steam to electric was taking place at the mine during the 1920s, and that would be shovels and trains. The trains ran on 750-volt DC power. This August 2nd, 1928 photo shows construction starting on that substation. Here's some more pictures of them working on this substation. Note the rail end right there. The next picture shows them building the car repair shop, and that was up here too. A later picture of that car repair shop with the waste trains in front of it. This beautiful 1938 picture shows the car repair shop, and you can see how the D line just went above it. Also up here, they will build electric supply building, a compressor plant, then later on they'll turn that car repair shop into core storage. The D-line bridge will access this area. Well, back to the bridge and my thoughts on why it was half wood and half steel. Now look at this early construction picture. Note the fill rock to the right. Now I think this area was already filled in, so pretty hard to dig for pier footings in this loose material. My guess is that they drove piles down until they hit solid ground, and then they built the wood part on this side. The north side, you can see they dug and cemented solid foundation supports. So here they could build steel. Well, that's my thought. It makes for an interesting looking bridge anyway. The D-line bridge was removed April 1957. A couple of pictures show those support footings on the hillside. They will use some of these to build the new visitors' observation point, and that will open May 1957. Here's a rail map of all the bridges up Carr Fork Canyon. I've pointed out the D-line bridge. You can see from here is the Apex Railroad Yard and that Apex loading station. We have some pictures of that loading station, and then some later pictures of that station when it was in disrepair. So let's look at the rest of the pictures I have of the D-line bridge. Here's one, June 30th, 1930, arrow pointing down to that D-line bridge. You can see it's just up from the A-line bridge. Here's another one. It's the first color picture taken of the D-line bridge, and that's right center. February 2nd, 1939, shows a snowy day at the mine. D-line bridge is the bottom right. This photo shows the Apex mine and its complex to the center. To the right is the Apex loading station. D-line bridge, upper center. Here's a nice picture looking down the canyon. The bridge is top right. This picture is looking down Carr Fork, and they're building the H-line bridge. So the year would be 1939. That's when both H and I were built. You can see that large curved wooden G bridge, then the straight D-line bridge, and in the distance, the Carr Fork bridge or A-line bridge. The next two pictures, you're looking up the canyon to that D-line bridge. They had a bad slide here and they're cleaning it up. Now looking down the Carr Fork, you can see the G-line bridge bottom and the arrow pointing to the D bridge. Then we have a bunch of photos of a train wreck that was on D bridge. Now it's interesting that there's a waste car and an ore car what were involved. The excellent picture of a line car fixing the trolley line here. It looks like it clipped off a pole. And then some different views of that wreck. So I thought these are really neat, this wreck right here by D-line bridge. Nice panoramic view dated September 13th, 1938. You can just see the top of the bridge, center right. Note the Apex train yard to the right. This snowy view shows the mine coming this way. They will start working on a new cement overpass, and that will replace the A-line bridge. Now this wonderful color picture of D-line bridge, now you can see the progress of that A-line overpass. Now I love this picture. There's so much going on. The mine is moving north and will soon take over the A-line and D-line bridges. The Apex rail yard center and the old Apex loading station right, just a shell of what it used to be. The final days of the D-line bridge. What a magnificent close-up of that bridge to the left. There is so much going on in this picture, I can't describe it all. We'll just spend some time looking at this picture. We'll end at the beginning with the one last look at this D-line bridge.